Okay, so blocking in for your landscape means that you are going to take the color that matches the subject that you're working with and placing that down on your paper, lightly blocking in areas of color. So I work from the top to the bottom, thinking about background, middle ground, and foreground. I'm using the colors of my colored pencils that match the subject the best that I can. So I'm using blues for the water, I'm going to use brown for the rocks, greens for the like foliage that's in there, and I'm just loosely kind of sketching it and coloring it at the same time. The textures that I'm using to color it should match the texture of the subject. So kind of like, rough hatched in lines for the rocks, very gestural and loose, more smooth application of color for the sky and the water. As I go back to the middle ground, again, like smooth, like horizontal strokes for the water, going back to the rocks, adding green for the foliage, and just kind of getting all the subjects, the main areas in there. Okay, so now I'm just kind of fine tuning some areas a little bit, but again, I don't want to get too detailed. I just want to lightly place in color. So again, no pencil sketch, lightly sketching with your colored pencils, blocking in fields of color, matching the local color, the color that you identify the subject as. So don't worry about adding any other colors right now. Don't be afraid to work loose and spontaneously. This is supposed to be in the style of Impressionism, and they worked like on location. They would be like there at this beach, like we all wish that we were right now, right? And just working like from observation directly. So it's okay that you're like being spontaneous and working loosely. Just keep your pressure light and everything will be okay. Our next video is going to be on creating depth and also creating more form by adding more darks in. But right now, I just want you to loosely get some like color on your paper and, just kind of like blocking out areas and forms really, really lightly. We're going to build this up into detail. We're approaching this very much like a painting as opposed to a drawing, where we're blocking in areas of color and then we're going to kind of pull it all together by adding detail and texture and building depth onto that. So I'm plunking a little bit of like orange in that corner because the rock seems kind of orange. And again, like my textures are going in the direction of the form. They're matching kind of like what I'm seeing, but again, like very loosely. And now I'm just blocking in the sand quickly, like lightly on the paper, just kind of getting some cream in there, leaving the areas that are white open right now. I'm not going to add the white for the water just yet, but going back into my water, adding a little bit more color on there, but really just like very loose gestural blocking in of color. Shouldn't take you very long. And so in the end, you should really just have a loose blocking in of color, really, really lightly with your colored pencils.